Wait there just a minute, buddy. Rewind the.
Hi guys, welcome back. It's been a long
Hello.
hot summer. It's not been a hot summer, it's been a long summer. We left you back in June so that we could have our hot girl summers, and now we're back to report on how that went. So how'd it go for you? Yeah, it's your favorite podcast. Wait, rewind the tape.
We can't remember how to do this podcast.
Not at all. I smashed a bottle when setting up. I couldn't even remember how to do it, but
That's
I'm
actually
Natalie.
crazy. I'm Ruth.
And we're going to tell you about our summers.
Yeah. Missed you guys first and foremost. I mean, missed you, didn't miss recording, but definitely missed doing the podcast. Like, missed the fun, didn't miss the labor. That's just how I live my life.
And you know that we do minimal labor for this, so that tells you a lot about
Honey,
how
I
lazy we
don't
are.
want to do a minute's labor in a
But even that's too much.
Yeah, agreed.
Anyway, yeah. So how was
the
your summer?
I can't remember my summer. I had a few like health issues. Like basically, 2021 has been the year of like my body turning on me, and I've just kind of accepted it. Like I had a mystery fever. Oh my god, 5 policemen stormed in our house while I had the mystery fever. Then I broke my toe, which I don't know if it's still broken, but I fell on it yesterday. I don't know what's going on there. So we're just still resting the toe. I haven't been able to move or do my walks. I mean, I'm body neutral to anybody who cares, but like I am noticing like my body is ballooning, but I'm trying to practice body neutrality and let it go. And not just that, like I need to move out of the stack. Like I've talked about on the podcast before, where I'll literally remember a memory and scream out loud. Like I need to move away from myself constantly. So
you need to physically walk away from a memory that's just popped out of your head and into the air around you.
It's gotten a lot better, maybe because I can't walk away, or maybe because I've just turned to television so I don't have to think.
Naturally. We watched a lot of television before, so
yeah, I'm enjoying it more
television.
now.
Oh, okay, that's good.
And
we've been vaccinated. There's that.
Yeah, I feel like we were vaccinated.
I think you already were, but I am now fully vaccinated.
When did you get your second? I thought it was before. Oh my god, that should show you how messed up my memory is. I was like, I swear you're vaccinated, didn't you? But yeah. Natalie has recently celebrated a birthday.
Yay, I did, yes. I am another year older.
Virgo season was very, very real. It's still on.
Oh god, it's still on, but I mean, it's this year's been a non-season, more so than last year. So yeah, we all obviously had high hopes of having our big hot girl summers. So didn't really happen. I'll tell you about my summer. So as you guys all know, or many of you will know, if you're friends of mine or long-time listeners, I have a cat, and I don't know if you guys know that he doesn't sleep very well during the night. Have I told you guys this?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't sleep very well. So I've recently discovered a new way to get him to sleep, which is borrowing from some of Mango's dog training techniques. So there's this game in dog training. Sorry, this is boring, but it has a point, where it's called orientation, where you have a treat and you throw the treat. The dog gets the treat, and as soon as they orientate back to you, you throw another treat and say yes, and you mark it. So they always know they come back to you, and then they get a treat. And it's a fun game. So I was like, maybe this will work with Brody. So I was like, cool. When we like get into bed, and then I have like a handful of kibble, and I'm like, cool, I'll throw a bit. He goes to get it, and then he comes back, and I was like, great, this is working. And it did actually work. And he, after 5 minutes or so, he would curl up at the end of the bed and then start to fall asleep, which was brilliant. And he did wake up. He does wake up still a couple of times in the night, but sometimes that's because I wake up and go to the bathroom because I'm getting old and my bladder can't keep going through the night like it used to. And so if he wakes up at night, I'll still do the same technique, and it's going great. Until maybe not last night, the night before, it doesn't matter when it was. So anyway, I'm like I'm sleeping, I'm having a dream, and in this dream I'm like I for some reason I'm like, I've got like some popcorn, but I'm not going to eat the popcorn. I'm going to like, I'll just take a handful of like the popcorn. You know, you get popcorn kernels in popcorn things, and you're like, oh, I don't really like these, and they're hard to digest, and they screw up with my teeth. But I'm going to eat them anyway. Yeah. So I'm like in my dream. Well, I've got a handful of these popcorn kernels, so I might as well eat them. And I'm thinking already, like, this is a bad idea. It's popcorn kernels, and I can feel myself in the dream, but also not in the dream, moving my hand to my mouth. Then I wake up. I've eaten cat food. I've put kibble in my mouth. I've started to chew, and then I'm like, and before I've eaten fucking cat food. So that's my hot girl summer. I eat cat food now in my sleep. I didn't swallow it, guys. Don't worry or anything. Like, it was honestly only a couple of seconds before I realized, and it was really just like, oh. And God, I don't know if anybody knows. I feel like it kind of makes a difference, but I don't want anybody to fucking come at me for like publicizing that I don't eat meat or animal products. But I am vegan or like plant-based in my diet, so this feels like it's even harder for me that I ate cat food. It's like salmon and chicken, and I just honestly I was like, I don't eat meat, and I never liked fish. But
was it nice?
I can't imagine. No, it tastes horrible. So why does my cat like it so much? Why does my dog like it so much? Why are you all out there eating kibble? Why am I out here eating kibble?
It's all that you give them, so they're just working with
what they get loads of other fancy stuff. They still like the kibble though, but it doesn't mean I need to. Honestly, that was a real.
What else
can
they
feel like
eat?
That's a real low point for me.
I thought you had to give them the kibble. What else can cats and dogs eat?
I feel like we're missing the point of the story, but I'll like.
Oh, sorry. I've already normalized that you now eat cat food, so I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Can we not act a little bit more shocked?
No, I'm like, no, that sounds like something that Leland.
Is this a story really worthy of the podcast, Natalie? Because it feels like I've heard it before.
No, it definitely is. But I'm just because in my head, I always thought cat food looks like a dry biscuit, but it's like I'm told it's meat. So I'm like, what the fuck is that anyway?
I don't know, dehydrated meat. I don't know. Just don't eat it. So I'm gonna think twice about falling asleep watching fucking Devious Maids with cat food kibble in my hand.
Oh my god, Devious Maids! I got really into that. Maybe we should do an episode on it and not make this entire episode about my obsession with Devious Maids.
Yeah. Otherwise, this whole next stretch of 10 episodes is basically going to be like Devious Maids will be the new Once Upon a Time, and I don't know if anybody needs to know
go through that again.
So given our pretty pathetic summers, I feel like
new nickname for Priti Patel, Pretty Pathetic. That is so good.
We coined it. I'm sure nobody else has thought of that. I guess we should just close that chapter of our lives, move on from it, and
good points. I mean, I've got a lot of music done. Have I got nearly the amount I thought I would get done? No. Can I realistically finish by the end of the year? Most likely not. Do I feel I have accomplished anything? Not really. But I still did something.
I'm proud.
I'm getting, like, this is random, but I'm getting sick. So I'm really angry about it.
Oh no.
Like, as I sit here, like, I've had a sore throat. It's like every time you interact with people outside your home, they give you an illness. What is that about?
I'm still not really interacting with that many people outside my home, but that's not necessarily through choice, to be honest. It kind of is through choice, but it's not really. I think it's for like lack of options.
It was my mum's 60th, which was fun, really
nice.
Cute. I obsessed about making a balloon arch thing for like
weeks,
a whole week, at least a week. And yeah, that's my new thing now. So if anybody wants a balloon what do you call it? A balloon centerpiece, like Holmes.
Structure,
Yeah.
centerpiece, I guess, is fine.
Yeah.
Focal point, talking point.
Yeah, and I
Piece
can
of shit.
also do like all the other things that I wanted to do for my mom, but went way over budget and had to return. I could do that for you if you pay for it. I ordered these like antique glass candle holders, and I was like, oh, I can't afford this. I have to return them. I was like, can I cancel my order? And they were like, yeah, I didn't think you could afford it anyway, to be honest.
That's rude of them.
They didn't really say that, they just cancelled it.
But yeah. Anyway.
Anywho.
What else? Anything else to report? I can't think. I mean, I'm sure
I
lots of
honestly
stuff
can't
happened, but I
remember.
really just can't. It was a long time ago, guys.
No, all of mine were like, the only few little stories I do have are all like about, not all about, I have 2 stories about scandalous men, but I also feel like I shouldn't share that on the podcast for my own dignity. So yeah, nothing really happened. I've been inside, like literally for the last 4 weeks, could not leave the house off my feet, inside. Yeah. Drinking Jack Daniels. Guys, don't drink Jack Daniels. More about that later.
Not for me. But what we have been doing is obviously watching a lot of TV. I went through quite a strong phase of being strict with myself and not getting sucked into a series that had multiple seasons on it, because what do I do when I get sucked into one of those? I watch it religiously.
Yeah.
And now Ruth made me watch Devious Maids, and that's
made me probably. Actually, I really wanted you to
did. You were like, I've started watching it, and do I regret it? No, I don't regret it.
I regret everything I've ever watched on Disney Plus.
Oh my god, I tell you what I did watch on Disney Plus. I did it. I revisited Ugly Betty. That show is crazy.
I almost got sucked in just the other day. I'm days away. I know myself.
If I'm being honest, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. But I just like, there's so much other stuff to do. Although it is only 4 seasons, so it's not as if it's a, How
much longer was it when you watched? I remember Ugly Betty being like 7. It feels like 7 seasons. I think it's because the last season is so bad.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, I tell you what isn't a bad series. Pose.
Oh my god.
We've been saying that we'll do an episode on Pose for a long time, but we wanted to wait until season 3 came out and until we'd binged it.
In the UK, yeah.
In the UK,
like officially, not illegally, because they take the piss and take forever to give it to us.
And then they don't even fucking tell you when it is out. I've got a bone to pick with BBC. That should have been splashed all over my homepage.
Yeah, that was
given
really
the stuff that I watched. The algorithm, either didn't work or they purposefully didn't want to promote it.
To be honest, I don't mean to be a conspiracy theorist, but I do genuinely think it was hidden on purpose, because it just doesn't make sense. Why would you pay for the license for a show and then not promote it? It doesn't,
especially to people that are like the things that I'm watching on iPlayer or anywhere are all like quite queer focused or.
We literally have watched, I speak for myself, I've watched Pose on the iPlayer. They should at least tell me the show that I've been watching is out again.
Agreed.
And to anybody outside the UK, the reason we can beef with the BBC is because legally, if you live in the UK and you have a television, you have to pay what's called a TV license. It's like, over the year, we can
beef with them because we pay their wages.
Oh my god,
we beef with them, whatever.
Yeah, but £14 a month is expensive
for
you. That's how much a TV license is.
I didn't really think about it in those terms.
Yeah, Netflix is what, £8 for 4 screens?
Yeah.
Or is it £12?
I don't know. It used to be £7.99, so in my head it still is, but
I think it's not. £13 for 4 screens.
I probably pay like £25.
Honestly, who knows?
I wouldn't know.
And then Disney Plus is £8 for as many screens as you want. So if the iPlayer are going to charge me £12, and that's just for the BBC network, which is made up of 4 channels and probably like 7 radio stations. The idea being that it's community broadcasting, like it's supposed to be something for everyone in the UK, because if you don't pay your TV license and you watch television, it's not likely to happen that you can go to prison. Like you legally have to fucking pay this fee to have this network.
There's a disclaimer every time you watch something on iPlayer.
Yeah,
you have a
to,
TV license.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. No, I don't. You could lie, sure, but they may find you.
They will find you. They go around areas and they knock on your door to find out if you have a TV license. You don't even get a discount if you're on benefits. Sorry, I've recently done a lot of research on this. Plus, my cousin was like, you do realize it's like a £1 billion corporation? I was like, no, it's not. It is. So you're telling me that's how much money they make from TV licenses? I used to always wonder why everyone in the UK
That's why everybody
was
was furious when they reinstated, or they started charging senior citizens.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Just let them watch their
Let
shows.
them watch fucking television. It's not even that good.
Bargain Hunt.
Oh
let them
my
watch
God.
Country File.
And you know what's upsetting to most people? It's like we are being charged for television that is just, I'm sorry, majority of the television is bottom tier. Once in a while, the BBC will do an amazing drama. They have soaps, which I enjoy. But generally, it's like it's not all inclusive like they say it is. And another thing the BBC do is they'll make something that's good, like a good show will sneak through, and then it won't be accessible. Like there's a show called How Not to Live Your Life. Do you remember that show? It's like a weird comedy show. And the other day I was like, I want to watch How Not to Live Your Life. It's not available on the iPlayer. Every single show the BBC have ever fucking made and already paid to make should be available on the iPlayer.
Yeah, I agree.
I was so mad about it. And then there's been black shows that they've literally said, oh, sorry, we can't release this show because we've lost all the tapes. And then the show has mysteriously shown up. Like the BBC are so cunty. They used the N-word last year on live on television. They just do so much shit, which I was irritated by before, but now I know they're making billions and I'm going to go to prison. I have to pay, unless, of course, you don't have a satellite. So you don't, and a lot of people, we still use Sky over here. Most people don't have cable. We have satellite TV. So if you don't have a satellite, you don't watch the iPlayer and you don't have Freeview. So if you literally just use Netflix and Disney Plus, I think you can not pay your TV license. But my problem is I fucking watch EastEnders, so I'm dragging the whole house down. Plus we have Sky, so yeah.
I feel like I need to watch more BBC stuff just to make the most out of this.
Your money, yeah, but it's like what? You can watch EastEnders, but then they do have good shows. Like they'll have Pose, and then they won't advertise it. And also the new head of the BBC that was appointed, was it last year or the year before, was appointed by Boris Johnson because he's right-wing leaning. So I'm not being a conspiracy theorist, but I do feel like it is reflected in some of their TV choices. But they no shade to the BBC as well. I'm not saying everything about the BBC is bad. They do have good shows, and they have, one thing about the BBC is they'll have like specifically good talent, and they find talent too. I just feel like now I know they're worth billions, they should be giving more opportunities.
Give us
to
more
people.
Yeah,
way more. Like there is so much creative talent in the UK. I want to see like a yearly competition where 3 people are allowed to make their own show. Like I want that kind of progressive stuff. Like
I would, and
they
I would
have
just
the
like
money.
you to at least tell me when you know what I want to watch.
All the money is going
content
for fucking football. That's what it is. It's just football.
It's football on BBC.
Yeah. Match of the day. It's huge.
I just thought it was like ITV.
No, ITV, the BBC, and Sky have these bidding wars every year to win the contracts. That's where the money goes. Even the pundits, they get paid shitloads of money. We talked about Gary Lineker's salary on it
We
before.
did, yeah. We have talked about this.
And then the BBC do good stuff for like artists. Like if you're a new unheard of artist, you can upload your music and you can get played on the radio. Like I've got played on the radio that way. I know other people have got played on the radio that way, but now I know it's billions. I'm like, come on, step your pussy up. I want it, like, you should be doing so much more.
Yeah.
We could have such groundbreaking shows. Like if Channel 4 had that kind of money, can you imagine? Like just extra thrown in.
I can't remember the last time I watched a Channel 4 show.
Channel 4 News is pretty good, not to be a bore, but it's actually all right.
Okay, maybe I'll give that a whirl.
It's not bad.
It's on every day.
Yeah.
Something I can binge.
I've got Rick and Morty as well. But yeah, sorry, I'm not going to do my usual
uncomfortable.
shit.
Anyway,
Is it too existential?
what? Rick and Morty?
Rick and Morty. The way it makes
No,
you like the parallel universe and shit, and makes you feel like,
No,
am I the
best
real
part-
me?
No, I've watched like 5 minutes of, and like, or not even that. The grandpa just makes me feel uncomfortable. I just
Is
don't
it
like
because
him.
he's a functioning alcoholic? And a borderline
yeah.
white supremacist as well,
He's just
for being honest.
gross and dribbly? Sorry, this.
And he
I
burps.
can't apologize for everything. He just is. He just makes me feel uncomfortable. I don't like him, so
That's fair.
I'm not going to watch it. Anyway,
I
back
never
to
liked him
Pose.
at first. Yeah, back to
Pose.
Pose.
Season 3. So if you haven't watched this season at all, stop this podcast episode here and just go watch it.
Phenomenal season.
Incredible. Well, a phenomenal show. So go back to the beginning if you've not watched it.
Yeah, but a phenomenal show for a phenomenal season. Final seasons are usually where things dip out. I think they outdid themselves with this season.
Well, I
honestly.
think for me it goes. I think season 1. I don't
Season
know.
1 was the strongest.
Season 1, season 3, season 2 was a bit too fantastical.
I don't know, some of the episodes, I think 2 of my favorite episodes are in season 2. Like the episode with the trunk, the original episode, that's season 2. That's a brilliant episode of television, hands down. When I think about all the television I've seen in my life, that is one of the best episodes of television I've ever seen.
It comes back to you as well.
Yeah,
we'll talk about another one of my dreams shortly. So I guess this episode, we'll focus more on season 3 because I can't really remember the details of seasons 1 and 2, apart from the fact that it was obviously just a groundbreaking show full of kind of warmth and amazingness and solidarity, and it was we just loved it. So season
Black
3.
and brown people for once.
But it was nice to see a show where there were very few white people. Yeah,
and it was like a historically accurate depiction of a time. Yeah. It's a good show.
So let me just go. Okay, so episode 1. What really struck me as well, and I think about this season is, and it had to happen. It had to come to a head in this way because you've seen the characters from when did it start? 1980? Was it 1983?
I was going to say 1979, so I'm off.
No, it could be. Well, it basically was early 80s when the show starts, and so we're going on a real journey with these characters, and we're seeing some of them who have their AIDS, their HIV diagnosis. We've seen that, so we're going through the whole journey with them. And in this episode, you're starting to see the characters that we know, how they're actually the progression of that illness, and it was for me, kind of a bit reminiscent of when watching It's a Sin, and just the feelings that you get around the anger that it was just allowed to happen in that way. But we're saying, obviously, It's a Sin was focused much more on the British experience, whereas this is in the States. But this season was a lot more about how the characters are coming to terms with end of life, dealing with end of life a lot, and
it's like
treatment
the peak of the AIDS. Well, epidemic. I was going to say pandemic. It was a pandemic. It was everywhere, all over the world.
I think it would. I don't know if it be if it was a pandemic or an epidemic.
It wasn't. It
No,
wasn't.
it was a pandemic, but then there were
People call it the AIDS epidemic, but literally it wasn't pandemic.
True,
It was
yeah, it
literally
was
the whole
everywhere.
world was on its knees. And you
Yeah.
can't talk about this is why I do enjoy now watching shows set in the 80s, because it's like you literally cannot have shows set in that time without them showing you the effects of both HIV and AIDS and crack and coke.
Mm.
And it's just, yeah, you can see how it's such a essential part of life. Like, it would be crazy if a show didn't mention it. Now I've really seen it, and living through a pandemic now, it puts it into perspective, because just how purposefully it was handled poorly, like how people were blocked from medication because of who it was affecting. And the thing
Not
I love
even just
about
how people were blocked from medication, how medication itself was just halted because of who it was that it was affecting. Like, could you imagine if the government were like, we're not going to invest in vaccinations for coronavirus? That would never happen, because it affected everybody.
Yeah.
And it was like transmissible to everybody. I mean, obviously HIV is transmissible to everybody, but it's, coronavirus is just airborne, so
yeah,
that would never happen.
Yeah, sex in general is still to this day stigmatized, so and obviously homophobia is very real and alive, and so is transphobia. So it's just like, you can only imagine how much worse it was then.
Yeah. And so in the first episode, we see Blanca becoming a nurse's aide. So she is actually, she's somebody that is
on the front line,
positive, and on the front line. She's seen what it's, and also she, in I think season 2, went through was hospitalized, had a really bad, I can't remember what happened. Maybe she got pneumonia. I don't know. No, it was her medication, wasn't it? She was taking some kind of experimental medication, and the side effects really messed her up. So she's really been through it and becomes a nurse's aide, and just is, doing the work to be there for people who have no family, who have been kind of abandoned, and maybe even their chosen family aren't even able to support them because they aren't around anymore,
and so many people have died already. Like, this is when you see, like, at the funeral scenes in the beginning, they're like trying to show you how many people have just gone.
So what else is happening at the beginning? But then you're also seeing, on the other side of it, you're seeing the joy of Blanca having a relationship with a man who cares about her, who knows everything about her situation. She's not had to hide her HIV status,
and he's
the fact that she's a trans woman. He's hot, he's a doctor, and he just cares about her. And I would hope that there were situations like that did happen, and it wasn't few and far between. But even if it didn't, I think it's so, like we were saying with It's a Sin, it was what was so refreshing and so great was, amidst all this pain that these people are experiencing, and the violence against them, and the kind of depravity of society around them, and the way that it's treating this demographic as if they're depraved, it's so heartwarming to see the joy that they still get to experience in the face of all of that. Which is really important to see.
This season you kind of see people coming into, like, the wholeness of who they are, like they're over the, maybe not completely over, because society, but they're over the quote unquote struggle phase of their life, which anybody goes through from 16 to like 28, 29 anyway.
But they've come into the self-acceptance amplified. And
they've survived.
They're with their family, and that they've survived, and that they know what to do now to survive. And when you know what to do to survive, then maybe you can start to think about how you can thrive, and who are the people that you need around you to make you thrive in this world.
But not everyone's thriving. Like there's the
Yeah.
I like that how much, sorry, we're jumping all over the place already because I won't let Natalie give us any structure, but I loved how much they dealt with addiction this season.
Yeah.
It was so needed.
Yeah. So what else? The kind of key things for me, I guess. Yeah. Well, if we're talking about addiction, so pray tell
His alcoholism.
Yeah, which
I know he's foul
Can
when
you
he's
blame
drunk, but he's so funny. Obviously, he's foul and he's a nightmare, but I'm not gonna lie and say I wasn't laughing at some of the things you say. The OJ case was
oh my
so
God.
that was my favorite thing to watch. It was so funny, especially when it's like the white nurse is like, oh, I can't watch this, and they're like, goodbye.
Yeah, fuck off then.
See ya. Oh my God. And it's always so like, it's just, that's another thing that a no show set in that time in America will not touch on the OJ case. You just see how much of an
Everyone
event it
dodges
was.
around it.
No, I mean, like everyone, you have to talk about it because it was such a big thing. Like the only equivalent I can imagine is, and it's nowhere near the equivalent, but it's just because of who it is. Maybe if Tiger Woods had, he would never, I'm not saying Tiger Woods would kill his wife and go wrong, but that's the only person I could think of who would be the equivalent of being that kind of star. And he wasn't even close, I don't think, to as big as OJ was.
No, OJ was an athlete, he was an actor.
But people fucking love Tiger Woods. Jesus, yeah.
Wow.
And all he did was have sex with a couple of porn stars. That was a fun week for me, not being emotionally invested, because it was just like, I don't know why it was such a big thing.
Like, if we look at the way that people, the OJ case, when you compare it to like what's happening at the moment with fucking Prince Andrew having a lawsuit slapped on him, and no one really is talking about that, you're like, the things they sweep under the rug.
Okay, Prince Andrew, that is
as
mental.
Mental.
That is
a
mental.
Sorry,
we've been talking about.
Everyone's
been talking about it.
Episode.
No, but
yeah. It's not. I don't feel like it's the same. I don't know.
Not in the media. Of course not. The media are not speaking about this at all.
They absolutely.
The average person cannot stop talking.
Can't get enough of it
because it's just like, it's a bit mad, like that he didn't go in the first place. Like, how did he think he could avoid that? Like, that's mental to me. Like, what they think they can get away with is scary. Like, you can't.
Yeah.
They weren't. I remember when he was like first being, when the FBI were first asking him to testify, they weren't even charging him with anything. He was like, no, I'm not going. Like, no, we're not going. We're not dealing with.
Sorry, I'm the Prince of England.
And that's weird that he's the Prince of England. Who is he? Like, the BBC and the monarchy have got to go. And if the BBC are going to stay, that's fine. But we need transparency with the funding, and we need more community projects, and we need better programs.
Right, let's not get derailed by it. That was my fault. But
Prince Andrew.
Bloody Prince Andrew. Can we talk about Electra?
We can, because Electra is arguably the greatest character on television.
Ever written. She is incredible. And
can we talk about the fact that I know everyone in the cast deserves to be nominated and stuff, but I feel like no one ever says Electra should be nominated for an Emmy.
I think MJ Rodriguez at Blanca, she's brilliant, obviously.
She is, and she is the main character, quote unquote. She is. No, she's the lead.
Yeah, she is.
Electra
but come on.
I'm not joking, I'm getting goosebumps. It's
the cuts, the delivery of the lines, the
journey of the monologue.
That,
she does a voiceover and she's like, I am fucking all
the intonation, the speed, the pace of the delivery of the lines is just amazing.
Yeah,
she's amazing.
She eats it up. It's so like, she is amazing.
And again, not nice, but like, it's so important and heartwarming's not the right word, but like seeing her going back in time to see her journey
Oh my
and
God.
like her origin story, what made her who she is, and the fact that she has always been a badass and she has always like hustled and done what she needed to do and looked after her own.
I do think that I did have a teeny tiny slight continuity error. I thought it was anyway. The way that we're introduced to her in season 1 and the way they retrospectively talk about it in season 3, I think there was a scene where it would have made more sense if she had been more cutthroat and heartless.
Yeah, it is quite an abrupt.
But then I remember, do you remember in season 1 when they all have to go out and steal together? She is very much like leader of the pack, the mother, like you just don't see. I don't know, it's like sometimes it's like, is she supposed to be a cold-hearted beep, or is she like a warm mother, or is she both? But then I'm like, honey, I was raised with love and cruelty, so I should understand. Yeah,
she's both, and because she's ultimately it's mother knows best.
Yeah.
So when I'm being cruel, I'm doing it to be kind.
Her origin story, not that she's a superhero, but she kind of is. Her origin story, it was probably my favorite, and I do, as a Black person, I do love seeing like queer Black people, their journeys, and like how, because you see with Prey Tao, I thought oh my God, sorry, we're all over the place, but Prey Tao's journey home with that preacher man.
Yeah, and as you knew he wasn't gonna go back to the bus station. You just knew it. Anyway, let's finish with Elektra because I need to get to my so in season 2. Yes, it's season 2. Elektra is working as a dom, and she's got, I'm flip-flopping, but I've got to do it. Like the fact that her in season 1, season 2, sorry, she's working as a dom in a sex club, brothel, I don't know, rented rooms where you can.
It's a I would say sex club.
Yeah, I mean, it's not relevant.
A dominatrix club. They are things.
A dungeon.
Yes, that's what they called you.
We're cool. We know about stuff.
Don't let Natalie fool you. She fucking loves a dungeon. She loves a dungeon themed party too.
Yeah, true. And then in season 3, she has her own fucking business, a thriving like sex phone operator business. She could have been in Let's Talk Sex. I would have preferred that porno had she been in it, centered around her operation. And she's absolutely killing it. She does get in with the mob, which.
Oh no, we love to see it. You know how I feel about organized crime.
Anyway, let's go back still to season 2, where she is with a client in one of the sex clubs, and she has a no drugs policy, like don't do drugs while you're with me. This guy is an idiot, and he does it anyway, and he overdoses while he's tied up, and I think that she's left him. He overdoses, she ties him up, she doesn't know that he's taken drugs.
Sorry, it's funny.
He leaves him because that's what you do. You leave somebody tied up when they're submitting to you, I've heard. And and then when she comes back, he's dead. And obviously you're thinking, I've come back. Anybody coming into a room where you've just done like anything with, like you're having a transactional sexual encounter with somebody and they're dead, you're probably thinking, fuck, this isn't going to look good. But if you're a Black trans woman in the 80s, performing in what is essentially an illegal act across the board
on a wealthy really white man,
fucked on a young white trader, you are fucked. So she does the only thing that you can do in that situation, and calls her girlfriends, and they basically take the body, pour a load of like acid on it, package them up in bin bags, tape the bin bags up, and then put it in a trunk, and then put it in Electra's closet, and they just fucking leave it there. They leave it there for God knows how many years. And this is actually, I think, based on a true story.
Yeah, you told me that it was, yeah.
And if anybody hasn't seen Paris is Burning, you should watch that show. And one of the queens in that show, when she died, they later found a trunk with a body in it in her apartment. So anyway, so in season 3, because before Electra gets involved with the mob, somebody, the cops, like, I don't know, are they questioning her about the disappearance of that guy? It's unrelated, isn't it?
No, it's unrelated. They're just they want to see her books because they're basically trying to put the squeeze on her to see if she'll say where her extra money's coming from, because she's laundering illegal money, and I think they're just onto her anyway.
Oh, I thought at that point that it was all legit, because she said all of my operators have got...
You don't know. So like, as a person watching at that point, you don't know that she's laundering money for the mob, but
she's not in with the mob at that point.
No, she is. She definitely is.
No, she's not, because remember, it's later on when she meets the other the queen, that the woman that does all the injections, and she's like, how have you got all this money? And then she's like, oh, I'm in with the mob.
Yeah, but that's like a flashback. Travel.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Because that's when she was saying all her money's legit, but then when something happened where she was saying her money is not all legit. Got it.
Okay, fine. Anyway, yeah. Carry on.
We should both rewatch. We probably will one day. But yeah, but then she at that point realizes that she got that dead man in her house. So they need to move it, and it's basically it's just like Blanca having her back. Did they do the story of the trunk in that actual episode, or is it a separate episode?
What do you mean by the story of the trunk?
The history of the trunk, like her taking the trunk from her mother's house and everything.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because it's called The Trunk.
So they do a throwback. That's
because they have to do it, because it's the reason why Blanca's like, obviously I'm going to do this for you. No,
yeah, like
daft. I will remove this dead body. And then everybody, and then Pappy gets involved, little Pappy, and oh my God,
I want to say Damien. That's not his name.
It's not Damon, but it isn't Damon, is it? What's oh my God, are you googling it? What's the other guy called?
I'm googling, but carry on.
And also Blanca's boyfriend is like, okay, cool, I will also help you get rid of this dead body.
Now that's a rider, honestly. That's the kind of boyfriend I want.
Somebody that will be when you're like, okay, when they smell a dead body in your house,
and
then you have to come clean and say, okay, that's a dead body, I need to get rid of it.
Ricky, our baby Ricky.
Ricky, of course. Oh, Ricky.
Because Damon had to leave, didn't he? His sister passed away.
Oh,
in real life.
Yeah. Is that why? I see.
So sad. He was
one of my favorites.
Absolute favorites. Had a real soft spot for him.
I wanted to see where his dancing career led.
Yeah, but they deal with it by saying he's like an addict. He's fallen off the wagon, which is also believable, to be fair.
Yeah.
Because it's not realistic to show addiction and nobody succumbs to it. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Anyway,
and it doesn't mean he was an alcoholic forever.
Well, are you always an alcoholic?
No, I mean, it doesn't mean it doesn't mean he never got sober again. But yeah.
After watching that episode, because I guess you have this maybe at the back of your head, like this kind of borderline anxiety for the whole time, thinking, well, when are they going to bring back this fucking trunk storyline? Because they can't just have left it and then it's not never going to rear its head again. And her house must absolutely stink. In the closet, she's hanging up like those magic trees that you put in cars in the whole of the closet. And it's weird that it's only when they go in the closet that they're like, hey, what's that smell? You're like, the whole house would reek. She has a fucking body in a trunk. Anyway, that's beside the point. And after that episode, I had a nightmare that I just was basically in the same situation. and I was trying to get rid of a body in a trunk, but the trunk was a like tiny small suitcase, like a briefcase size. Obviously, a body's not going to fit in a trunk in a briefcase, but in my dream it was like, okay, well, we'll put it in the bin, but oh my god, it's such a small case and it's all wrapped up and it's going to start seeping and people are going to know. Can they trace a body back to you if you've put it in there? I was freaking out. It was so stressful. I hated it.
Well, if that ever happens to you, I know somebody who has a funeral home who I think has a soft spot for me, so we might be able to get rid of the body that way. I've just realised that now.
We just incinerate it.
I think that would be the best thing to do.
Yeah, but they don't have, the funeral homes don't have.
Surely he knows.
Incinerators.
Surely he can hook us up with a cremation.
A cremation, yeah. He has
Yeah. What's
he
the
will know
point
somebody that
otherwise?
owes him a favor.
What was
I'm not out here planning to have this problem. I'm not. but
Nobody is.
It's good to know that. It's good to know that there's a plan, a fallback. If
I mean, it's an idea. He might be a snitch and just call the police. I'd rather call a criminal. Shout out to criminals.
The OCG. Anyway, yeah. So Electra, and then Electra. Oh, the wedding shop scene where and you just knew it was so. Angel. Let's talk about baby Angel. Angel is getting married. Electra.
Can I just say quickly, that is the only wedding on TV on real life that I've ever attended and actually cried my eyes out.
Cried, start to finish, cried.
Like, I believe in their love. Like, I don't believe in anything. I'm sorry. Normally when I'm at a wedding, I'm just like, who's gonna cheat first? But that wedding, I'm serious. Like, I'm trying to think. I've never been, maybe because I haven't been to no shade to if I've been to your wedding. I know it's not that you'll listen to this, but you'll probably be like, how dare you? But like, I just don't think I've ever really been to a wedding where I've been emotionally invested in the couple. Like, I've seen like some of my like best friends from childhood get married, but just honestly, I'm just being honest, I haven't felt like
I told her about that guy and she's
no,
still
like I believe they'll have a happy marriage and I love my friend, but as a couple, like, I don't know that man. Like, I'm happy for her and I want her to get married and be happy. I'm just being honest, it's like he could be like anybody off the street. Like, I don't fucking know him. Whereas these two, it just like, it feels like love. Like, I'm sure sorry, that's so rude, if you chose to get married, I'm sure if you chose to get married, there is an 80% chance, because let's be real, there's a 20% chance I'll be like, who is this guy? But there's an 80% chance I'll be like, or woman, whatever, I'll be like into them as a person, because I'll probably get that chance to know them. Like, do you know what I mean? I haven't.
Ruth, you know that's probably not true. You know I'm probably gonna pick the wrong person, and you're like, red flag, red flag, red flag.
Yeah, but the difference is that you having a crazy wedding is going to be a hot mess and the best time of my life. Like, you making a bad decision is always at least going to be so fun that I'm emotionally invested. And if it goes up in flames, like, I'm in it whether I like. It's not like I'll be like, oh, comic.
No, you're in the midst of it. You maybe lit the match.
Oh my God, 100%. We're in Vegas. So I'm like, just marry him. He's a rich.
Like, I thought you hated him.
I'm like, I do, but who cares? Fucking do it. Even sorry, I've just realized I have seen like one of my very best friends. I went to her wedding, but when she got married, like, I was too young. I was just like, I felt, do you know what I mean? It was just like, oh, we're just at a wedding. I'm happy for my friend. She looks stunning, but she's young. And it's just like,
ooh, this is a mistake. You need to live, girl. Look at all these cute guys here. Look at the
not
best
even
man.
that. It's just like, I wasn't, my head wasn't, I wasn't mature enough to really comprehend a marriage. It was just like, as far as I'm concerned, it was just like,
this is a party.
I'm just here for my friend because I love her and she looks amazing and I'm happy for her. Yeah. I wasn't really like
outfits and the free booze.
I'm here for her to support her. That's what it felt like. It didn't feel like anything else. Even when sorry, another friend, I shouldn't name her. Another one of my very best friends got married. of people that are close to me. I'd say I've been to 3 actual very, very good friends' weddings.
Right.
But when she married him now, if she was to marry him now, it would be a different story. Do you know what I mean? I'd be like, oh my God. But when she actually married him, they hadn't been together for very long. So as happy as I was for her, I didn't know him. So it was just more like
it's when
a fun thing.
Vow renewal ceremonies, that's when they'll get you.
That's when I'll be crying. Like,
then
I'm
you'll
sure
know it's real.
I'm sure I was a bit emotional, because it's just like seeing your friend go, oh no, I don't know if I was, you know. Because it's just like, I just felt like it was a super fun time. Like, I enjoyed myself. It was amazing. And I was happy to be there for my friend, but it just didn't feel real. I haven't been to a wedding like that yet. I don't know if I ever will, because I feel like people get married and then you get to know their spouse. And then you're like, I guess so. That's been my experience anyway. So if they, obviously now I know her husband, like they're an amazing couple. So if they were to get married now, I'd have been like, oh, do you know what I mean? But at the time, I don't really know him.
I've only been to 2 weddings in my adult life, and they were both people, like couples that are obviously super, super close to me. So
yeah, but that, oh my God, that would have been different for you, because that's like 2 of your very best friends getting married to one another.
Yeah, and also my sister.
Oh my God, obviously sister get married is another story.
Yeah, but I was just crying a lot in that wedding. It was a lot. It was a lot to take.
I don't think I've ever cried at a wedding. Maybe I have.
No, I mean in Angel and Little Puppies.
Oh my God, that's what I'm saying. I don't think I've ever cried in a wedding.
But also
before that.
it's like everybody was really in it together. It's not like, you know, a wedding where you're kind of like, oh well, there's no one really knows each other. There's everybody from everybody. There's like your distant cousins, whatever. That was a wedding where everybody was family. Even the people that you like hated, you still loved. Even the people you're battling in the balls and you're throwing shade to, and you're just being really fucking bitchy, and you are really like, I hate you, but I will always love you. And the fact that all the women had their wedding dresses on, because it was like the symbolism of actually seeing one of your own out there grabbing a slice of happiness for themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot.
Plus Angel overcame crack, and that is hard to fucking do.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you're listening to this and you've overcome addiction, shout out to you. We love you.
What I was going to say before we got onto that wedding thing was just Electra kind of being like, I'm going to pay for everything. You're going to have the best. Let's go to the wedding shop. And it was all going so well. And then obviously the owner was a real dick. But then Electra was like, I'm going to get my mob boys in.
That's what I'm saying. Normalize getting people jumped. Normalize ruining people's lives afterwards. Because the thing is, I once had an opportunity to get someone jumped and I didn't do it. And I don't regret not doing it. But I also don't, sometimes when I tell people that story, they're like, why would you do that? And I'm like, how can you not understand the anger of knowing that there's no way for me to get justice unless I get somebody jumped? Guys, don't get anyone. I don't know why I'm preaching this. Do not get anyone jumped. But that man deserved to have all of his shit taken from him.
And he really did. Insurance.
He was unnecessary. And shout out to the guy. He's not real rude. The fictional character who quit his job afterwards.
Yeah, shout out to that guy.
Because I've seen some shit in retail and not quit, and it haunts me, man.
Because you also have to make a living, but it's horrible when you're like, well, I've got to make a living being complicit in something that I hate.
To be honest, me and Natalie used to work. I'm gonna be the one to tell this story because I don't know, it's fine. Me and Natalie used to work. How we actually met is we worked in the office. It was called the head office of
the basement
chain of boutiques. It's literally
chain.
No, seriously, I need to explain it. So it's like a chain of boutiques, but literally we are working in the basement of the women's store, which is across the road from the menswear and the tailoring shop. Like we're just in a corner of Shoreditch. Not really a corner, kind of a corner.
Yeah,
But
the corner
we
of
used to
Rivington
work.
Street. You know where it is now.
Yeah, you know where it is. Take this story as you will. Do your due diligence, do your research. And there was one time we were all in the basement. We
It's in
actually
your
did.
source.
Yeah, always. She's a drunk bitch, but I'm sober now. We always would actually have to work as, I don't want to make it sound like we were just doing nothing. We did actually work in that fucking basement. We worked actually probably a lot harder than I've done since. Yeah, with a pug that would not stop fucking firing, and I'll never get over
two
it.
pugs.
There was only one that really fired.
No, that's true. Yeah, you're right. But there were two pugs.
Two pugs. One had a flatulence problem the other, which probably explains why I hate pugs now. But yes, no shade to pugs. All shade, I hate you. But there was one time we were working. They literally did.
Insult to injury. Like, we're out here trying to make a career for ourselves. These dogs just get their own fashion line. Talk about nepotism.
We could literally make a comedy show based off just the concept, because honestly, it was a live-in sketch, but it was a good time.
One of our colleagues who's trying to do his job. One of the things that he had to do, and this was, by the way, he was in the buying department. He wanted to be a buyer. He had to do a CV for the dogs. A CV for the dogs. Like a fictional piece of work. He wanted
that is hilarious.
Yeah, I think he questioned his life choices at that point.
Oh, sorry. The only thing I was thinking is there was one day where, there's a code called, is it red flag? Red
file. Bring the red file.
I'm like, what's between a red flag and a red flag?
There was a code and it was red flag. It might as well be red flag.
It was a red file. So one of the owners comes down and he's like screaming like, red flag, or red file. So like literally, it's never happened before that people in the office have to go upstairs. She was like making it seem like something
all the time.
Not like that. That was the one.
No,
like,
it would like they'd call down to the office and be like, excuse me, could you bring the red file? And we'd have to be like, okay.
No, but this is that she's never like, the owner was in that day, so she's never like run down the stairs and loads of people have had to go up. Also, multiple people, not just one person, multiple people had to go upstairs. Obviously, I didn't go fucking anywhere. I'm not dying for any Caucasian. So I'm sitting at my desk typing. They come back downstairs and they're like, oh, what happened? And one of our friends was like, it was literally just a black man in a long coat shopping. That's what she was screaming about. And if I had had the sense I have now, I should have like quit that job and been like, you're a racist bitch. But I didn't understand. Another thing that used to happen in another boutique, which shall not be named, on what's the road in Islington called? Upper Street. So if you came in,
we'll give you the clues. You do your own.
Honey,
your own investigation.
It's a quick contemporary boutique on Upper Street. Google search.
Situated between a bakery and a cobbler's.
Something that I really didn't like there that would happen would be like if you were if you had cash, basically, because some of the clothes are quite expensive. So to have that much cash on you, if you had cash and if you were basically a black person with cash, but my thing, I'll explain why I think it's discriminatory afterwards. It's like your money is that kind of no good here. They would serve you with like, basically it's like a nudge thing, like keep your eye on that person, which to me means serve that person like they're the King of England. I did. I remember that there was one time that this guy came in.
You get a cum wallet and you get a cum.
Yeah, he had loads of cash, and which
hello, immediately like
hello. I love cash. Cash is king. And then he came into shop, and obviously I treated him really well, and he ended up buying like a super cute. The fact that I remember it was like a pink, like sort of semi sweatsuit, but like very thin, like shorts and long sleeve top. Very, very cute set. Stupidly expensive for what it was. Probably not that expensive if you're rich, but still like not worth the money. But But like and then afterwards it was just like, oh, they seem dodgy, and I was just like, even if their money, even if their money is from selling, like from the illegal pharmaceuticals trade, from the black market, that is none of your concern.
You're selling product that's probably been made by poor working conditions and akin to slave labor or child labor. So pipe down.
It's just also the problem with that is looking at someone and deciding their money is no good before you've even, do you know what I mean? Like that's why it's discriminatory, because if it was like a person, like a lot of people who are say are upper middle class, who are a bit old school, have cash, you know, entrepreneurial people, business owners, they tend to have a lot of cash on them. It's never questioned. It's only if you look a certain way, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
So like, I don't give a heck where your money's coming from, which with the only reason I would say that you would have to be careful is in some places they get in trouble because they've taken fake money before, counterfeit cash, and then they change their policies. But I've also, as a black person, had my £50 note held up to the sky 70 times before it was accepted and looked at really dodgy. Like, is this real?
Let me get the pen out.
Yeah, like cannot stop doing it, and it's very, very frustrating. So yeah, stop being cunty to people in stores. I've completely ruined the episode with our stories because this is not about Pose.
As
make it about me.
About it. And I feel like we do need to wrap up with talking about Pose so that we can.
I think we should talk about Pray Tell's knit. Can I just say, like, this was the only season that, I might be wrong, was Billy Porter nominated this season? I think he was nominated for the Emmy, but he won last time and he didn't win this time.
Yeah.
But this performance for me, like, I'm not saying he hasn't been good in other seasons, but this season his performance really stood out to me as maybe because his character was going through so much, like a near-death experience, the return to his childhood home, meeting his first love, seeing how the church had him effed up, seeing how like that kind of homophobia in the place where you're taught to like worship and you've like maybe fallen in love with music and you have like a spiritual connection is severed.
How it's impacted your family's
the whole dynamic
interplay with you, not just the church and the congregation.
And they dealt with sexual abuse as well, and how older generations, I'm sure this still happens, like turning a blind eye to sexual abuse and never being able to confront and talk about it. And I love how they were showing this is like the first time where I feel like it happens in a lot of people's lives. There's that moment as an adult where you are confrontational with the people who have experienced your traumas and you're like, hey, this happened.
Can we acknowledge it?
Yeah, like I'm like, I would say for the last, just being at home over the pandemic, I have confronted a lot of stuff and it has made me feel very strange. Because it's like you can't, at some point you have to, me and Natalie talk about off air, but you have to like sort of like digest the madness that has happened in your family. It happens in everyone's family because these things are so, unfortunately, it's just all so normal to grow up in chaos, pure chaos. Yeah,
I'm still choosing not to confront.
Honey, I am
the healthy way of putting
the ostrich approach.
Self-aware, of burying that deep inside, only for it to rear its ugly head in the relationships I have with people.
Don't deal with what's in the trunk until you have to. That's the moral of the story. You don't have to freaking dig up the body out the trunk on an average Tuesday night. That's nuts. But when you're in, like, when you have to, then you'll deal with it.
You should do it. Yeah.
In the meantime, get that Schnelly.
We discussed this kind of like we're trying to figure out, well, at what point do you actually have to deal with the thing that's in the trunk? At what point have you dealt with it? It's never going to go away because it's always going to be there and it might always crop up at some point. But like, do you have to really go and deal with it? At what point do you have to keep going back?
The MJ metaphor was a good one for this. So she's always had to keep all this stuff to herself. She's always had to have a secret life. And finally, she has a partner who she feels safe with. and she's forced to share a part of herself which is so extreme and so crazy. And then once that has been accepted and she's still loved, now what's normal for her would be to, it's not, I'm not saying she's going to go around telling everyone, but I mean, it's just having, once you have an experience with someone where you can share something about yourself that is like insane and it's met with safety and love, like it does really change how you look at the situation. And it also makes you feel like I should be able to share these things. Like there'll be times where I'll be dating someone. I'll just use this really quick example. I won't go into it, but I was like dating someone and I didn't tell them a fucking thing about me. And then it didn't work out. And then we developed a friendship. And in that friendship, I find myself opening up and sharing things. And I'm like, what the fuck? And it's just weird to show, like, when I date someone, I don't tell them shit. when I'm in a friendship vibe, I've been able to share that. And it's made me realize that maybe when I'm dating people, I should try and open up a bit more. Because, like, they don't know
dating
me.
people, there's a threat. The threat and the violence, and that sounds like it's a crazy word to use and quite extreme, but I'll use it anyway. Even in a situation where where something's not worked out, nothing bad has happened, and even if it's a couple of weeks or whatever, and then they leave your life, I do think that there is a kind of violence in that. It feels it's just so much more visceral than when you're friends with somebody, and because there is an element of trust with a friendship that you can go through things and it doesn't feel as much of a
I would say
the
trust for me in my friendships now, like the kind of trust I have, it still feels new. I think growing up, going to secondary school, those 5 years of feeling like I didn't have anyone, like being like one of 2 Black women in my year, feeling very like isolated, and still spending lots of time with people, so you have a friendship. There's something to be said about only being able to get to know somebody on a surface level and only having that as your entire experience. You learn to deal with people purely on the surface, and later developing like deeper, more meaningful friendships and connections can actually be difficult, because it's just like, I don't know, it takes me, I know it's supposed to take you a long time, but it's like I don't know how to
I understand that.
Yeah, I have like no intention.
More of is there's like a different, when you're going into just being friends with somebody, even if like, God, it takes obviously a long time to get to know somebody, so even if it's like a surface level friendship at first, it's like that there's some kind of a different connection or a different way you're viewing it, versus if you go into like going on a date with somebody, and if you go on a date with somebody and because there's a different expectation, and then they leave or like something happens, like the kind of almost like the violence of that exit from your life feels more extreme than with somebody that you've never, that you're just being friends with. And then if you don't see them for a while, it's like, okay, it's not affected you in the same kind of way where you're like distraught, because I suppose the expectation of what the promise of that thing could have been when you're entering into like a romantic or I guess even sexual thing is different to with a friendship. Maybe, does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Even if it's this, even I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how we got onto this.
It is like, I mean, I've only had one date where someone stormed off once, but it was so extreme that now I find it funny. But like, I did think I should never ever put myself in that situation again. Like, it felt a little bit dangerous. But then how much more so like being like a Black trans woman going on a date with these fucking lunatic men, and then it makes you think about all the sex workers that have to deal with these fucking lunatic men. Oh my God, legalized sex work, guys, I'm tired. It's just scary.
Yeah. So I mean, there's loads to talk about, and I'm sure we've not even scratched the surface.
We haven't at all. We haven't talked about it at all. But Billy Porter's near death was the most like again, I could not stop crying. And then when the medication was successful and it's introduced and everyone was on drug trials, I like that they showed the exclusion of Black and brown people on the drug trial, which is, we know it happens even like to this day. When you look at HIV and AIDS, like obviously you can live an extremely healthy long life. You can be if your medication is working, which it should be, and they'll configure it until it does, like you can't even detect the virus in your system.
You're not transmissible.
Yeah, there's PrEP. You can take medication so that you don't contract the virus. I'm not saying this to make like light of the experience. I'm just saying like it's so different now. But then in certain parts of the world where like still Black and brown people are more affected, they still won't have, I mean, I'm not talking about the wealthy or maybe even the average, I'm talking about the particularly poor, still don't have access to the medication.
Wouldn't even have access to condoms, which are the things that can help prevent it spreading in the first place, let alone the medication. Yeah.
Condoms are still expensive, which is so weird. Maybe I just buy nice ones, but I don't think so. Like I was looking to buy some the other day and I was just like,
well, I think it's also because, and rightly so, they're single use. So it really feels a lot like, wow, this cost me a lot.
But surely like latex is biodegradable.
But you can't, because they're single use, you have to keep buying them. You can't just be like, well, I'll just buy like a diet
you mean
or
it's
something.
expensive?
And it's like the expense because it's like constantly. You're never it's not like an initial investment and you're like, cool, I'm set. I mean, I guess you could just buy a diaphragm. That wouldn't that only protects against pregnancy, right? That's not
I believe
condoms are really the thing for stopping sexually transmitted infections.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I think let's pause on pose.
Do you think we should talk about it another week?
Maybe. I just think that we
the only other thing I had to say was about Pray Tell's death was just so.
Oh yeah, that I cried in that as well.
Yeah.
And then at the end when he at the final ball, when Blanca is going back and then she sees all these young kids and like,
oh my god, why am I getting emotional?
And then she's just repeating the same words that Pray Tell told her and the young evangelistas. It was just a full circle moment, and it's such a shame, a crying shame that the show was only got 3 seasons.
No, but I think they wanted to do 3 seasons.
I thought it got it didn't get extended for another season.
I don't think that was what happened. I think the creators said that like this is going to be the final season.
Oh, I always read it that it was this had to be the final season. Either way, I think it was perfect. It was the right way. It didn't
they wanted
drag on.
to.
They really rounded up. But I suppose that if they couldn't, because of the way that it was moving through time.
Yeah, the creator, it was
well, that's good. That makes me feel differently.
Yeah, Stephen Canals wanted to avoid making filler TV because like we talk about a lot of our shows where you get to the 4th season and it's just like, come on, like what is
we
this?
Hate this. We hate this. We hate.
We're
everybody
just watching
here,
it for the sake of it.
Yeah, we need to get through it.
Oh my god! Yeah, phenomenal. But yeah, it is a phenomenal season. We haven't really discussed it properly. I'm sure we'll keep coming up, but it is just extremely emotional. Angel's just for me, Angel getting married felt like my baby girl was getting married. It was just so fucking cute. Pray Tell, drunk and sober, was hilarious. I'm sorry, but Pray Tell was amazing. The OJ case was hilarious. Obviously, there was a lot of death and sadness because of the AIDS epidemic, seeing the effect that meds had, how people suddenly had hope. and showing how ridiculous it was that meds weren't really available for before. But yeah,
Electra, she thrived. Electra getting rich as hell.
Rich as fuck. I was going to say daddy. I don't know what I was about to call you daddy.
Giving everybody the dream, sharing that wealth, bringing, throwing this amazing wedding where everybody got to partake, everybody got to have a slice of that dream.
Yeah.
And then the outfits as well, just seeing all those wedding dresses and everybody's kind of different styles. Oh my God. When they were doing Angels, something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue.
Yeah.
I was crying then as well. Just didn't stop crying.
It was a real tearjerker. Okay.
So go watch it. Go watch season 1 from the beginning if you haven't watched it. I'm so glad I stumbled across it on iPlayer when I did. I think it was at the beginning of 2020, January 2020, when I found it on iPlayer by just randomly season 1. And by that point, I think there were already 2 seasons. Maybe there wasn't 2 seasons.
No, there was only one. The second one was like, it came out in, I want to say like August last year.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Because you put me on to Pose.
I haven't regretted it. I haven't regretted it at all. So I think, let's conclude.
Yeah, and just to say, like, to everyone involved in that show, like, phenomenal job.
Yeah, hats off to you. Incredible.
Rest in peace, Candy.
Oh, Candy. And also Cubby.
Who's Cubby? Oh my God. Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's it. There's not, the only thing that I wanted to do, and it feels like it's in poor taste now.
I want to do a quiz.
Given what we've been talking about, but I found this quiz. I happened upon this quiz. It's a BuzzFeed one, obviously. Earlier this week, and I just thought we've got to do this. And I feel like whatever answer I get, I'm going to be offended. I've just said the chat, so open it up.
Guys, do not laugh if you're watching the video. I'm about to put on my broken glasses because it's the only way I can see.
I need to see you when you open this up. Okay.
Okay. Oh my God, this is so ridiculous.
I know.
I can't see your face. I'm trying to fix my
Guys, the quiz is, which Shrek character are you most like in bed? If you've never wondered.
Who has wondered that? I think I'm most like the dragon, like in my mind, but in reality.
Oh, cute.
But in reality, I'm not that sexy.
I feel like I'm going to get like the gingerbread man or something.
Yeah, or Lord Farquaad.
Okay. What would you, already I don't like this question.
Okay.
What would your ex-partner say you're like in bed? I mean.
Honestly, I think that sounds incredible. I'm so full of myself. I'm going to go, I don't know if I should go nasty. No, they probably wouldn't say I was nasty. I think they'll go talented. I used to put it down. I can't think of anybody I didn't. Talented.
I mean, it depends what we're doing. But
what word are you picking?
I don't want to say on air because it feels like this is.
Tell me. I demand to know. Seductive.
No.
Super kinky.
I'm definitely not. No. I feel like I'm
incredible.
Fun. It's either going to be incredible or talented. They feel fairly innocuous. So, do you want? Which one are you going with?
I went with talented.
Okay, well, I'll go with incredible so that we're not
Why do
be
we
the
have to
same
be
person.
different? No, we're the same. We're the same. Which secondary Shrek character has the most sex appeal in your opinion? The dragon. Hello. The dragon
Ooh,
is sexy as hell.
the dragon is cute. Fairy godmother? I don't know. She could be a bit.
No, she's too like.
Something about the big bad wolf is
Yeah,
giving me
100%.
vibes. So I'm gonna say
100%. Real
Big Bad
big
Wolf.
daddy vibes.
Especially
100%.
in like dressed up as fucking granny in that picture. Yeah,
It's
that's doing it
sexy
for
to me. I don't know why, but that's hot as hell.
yeah.
I don't want to
Okay.
unpack it. No thanks.
Oh my god. No. Be honest, have you ever thought about what Shrek's penis looks like?
No, but
No!
now I'm never gonna stop thinking about it. It's
Not
not
until now,
Yeah.
thanks BuzzFeed. No.
Oh my god, imagine if it just looks like one of his ears.
Oh my god. What the fuck is that for me? I just have not even thought about. Why would you even ask me that?
I'm gonna
What's
say
reflective
not
sex
until
like?
now. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, of course. No, I'm not even thinking about what it looks like now.
I feel like.
Ew. Some
What
of these
swamp
aren't that
best reflects?
swampy. Well, okay,
Oh,
this isn't
I
fair.
know.
If it best reflected my sex life as it currently is, that's one thing. Or is it what best reflects like the sex life that you would want it to be?
No, I think it's like what's the general vibe of your sex life? I'm going.
Currently, or
I'm go-
over the duration of your sexual.
Yeah, I think it's just like overall. Yeah,
Okay,
I'm going
fine.
with the swamp. I'm going to go now. Before I'd say it was more the swamp that is like perfectly like crystal clear with a lot of forestry. But
Which
now
one?
I'm gonna go center right. But now I'm gonna go.
Oh yeah, that's. Are you gonna
bottom
go
right.
Right.
Yeah.
What the really dark green one that looks like
like evil. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that one.
haunted.
Yeah. My pussy is definitely haunted. Haunted by the ghosts of Dick's past.
Oh, that's a lyric. I'm gonna go for the middle right.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Finally, which of these phrases would you actually say in bed?
I'm not the monster here, you are.
I would never say any of these things.
No,
I
of course you wouldn't,
most likely say I'm not the monster here, you are, to be fair. I always try and tell my partners that they are the villain and I am the hero in this story.
Yeah, I would say that, yeah. Fuck off!
I got Shrek. Who did you get?
Lord Farquaad.
Yes, I'm so glad I didn't get him.
Wow, thank you.
No
I mean,
shade.
to be fair, the picture is of him drinking a martini in bed, so that feels.
I mean, he was an asshole. He was elitist, but they really short shamed him. Like, so what? He's short. Leave him alone.
What? Yeah. Well, good for you, I guess. I mean, I don't know what the right answer would be here in this situation.
It says, when it comes to having sex with you, there are a lot of layers to peel back and fully enjoy. That's true.
Yeah. Mine was something like, I've got very exacting needs and I expect to be treated like royalty.
Oh, damn right.
Which, yeah. It's, yeah.
Congratulations. Love that for you.
Thank you. But like I said, I don't know what was the answer that I would have been happy with.
Dragon.
Probably, yeah. So quick temperature check on what we should watch for next week.
I don't know if you've seen Sex Education season 3.
Not yet, but I will be watching it.
Or we could do Despicable Maids. Is it called that?
Despicable. Sorry, I thought you were going to say we could do Despicable Me. I'm like, why would we watch Despicable Me?
Every time I
wanting to watch the Minions.
Yeah.
No, Devious Maids.
We could do Devious Maids season 1 if you've seen it.
I'm up to so I'm at the end of season 2 where the kids. Have you watched all of them?
Yeah, season 1 and 2 are by far the best seasons. Season 4 is a mess.
Rosie's wedding, and that the bouquets just dropped because that kid has driven by and shot people.
That
So-
wasn't
I know. I'm like,
Oh
oh,
my-
already. This is
a drive-by.
insane.
That was
And he's not even just like,
ridiculous.
you're trying to shoot one person who is in the back of the crowd. Like, who do you think you are?
That kid was so intense.
Incredibly annoying.
That whole storyline was kind of dumb.
Sorry, I know that we're not doing Devious Modes this week, but who's
Yeah,
your
we have to
favourite?
do it. Oh my god,
Mine's
the funny,
Carmen.
yeah, she's hilarious.
She's the best. She's the one that I would want to be.
And she kind of makes me feel like there's nothing wrong with just being your complete self-indulgent the person that you
Yeah.
would want to be.
Yeah.
Like, I am who I am.
Accept me or don't. I don't care.
Either way,
Yeah. She's
she's
up there with
so
me.
funny.
yeah. And
I don't think she was my favorite to begin with, to be honest. I just couldn't get over how funny she was.
yeah,
Yeah, she really carries.
she does.
Yeah, let's do that show next week because that show is ridiculous.
Guys, a lot of you might want to phone it in or just skip next week's because you probably don't want to hear us talking about an obscure. It's like a mix of
Desperate
it's
Housewives.
like Desperate Housewives and Jane the Virgin.
Oh, I thought it was like Desperate Housewives and Ugly Betty.
I mean, yeah.
And I also want to just do a quick Google to find out if like Latina people, when they first heard about that show, were like, what
Yeah.
the fuck is this?
It's based on a Mexican show or a Mexican novel.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wonder
Mexican
if people are just like, you
If they
can't
were
do
like,
this. You should
honey, keep it. I don't want to watch a load of like Latina women cleaning white women's house and men's houses with some casual racist remarks. Like, I'm just not in the mood for this. This isn't what I wanted when I said representation, but the show is just so juicy. And I will also side note off into another show, not now, next week, that is arguably the most ridiculous show I've ever seen in my entire life that I got into. It's called Star.
Oh, you did tell me about this.
Oh my god, it's from, to anybody out there who knows what Lee Daniels likes to do, it's a Lee Daniels show, and that should tell you all you need to know. So as much as I slag off Lee Daniels shows, they're also my favorite shows ever made. So take it how you will.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows what to make of that? Okay, on that note, it's goodbye from me, Lord Farquaad.
And me, Shrek. Oh, I wish. But yeah, I don't even believe it.
We will see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Wait there just a minute, buddy. Rewind the